Southeastern University, they did something I don't recommend you do here in Grand Valley. Maybe you'll do it. Don't do it. They put up a wall with every bad word they could think of on it. Don't do it. I was thinking about this for a long time. Don't do it. I'm just showing it to you. Don't do it. It's an abject lesson of what not to do. But what they meant to do was to put up the C word and the F word and the N word and the B word and the Z word and every other word. And then collectively, as a university, they went out there with hammers and picks and sticks, and they tore that wall down. You hear the echo of Mr. Reagan talking? They tore that wall down. Now, symbolically, do you see what I mean? I get that, but don't do it. Mercyhurst had a Stop the Hate poster contest. Sounds a little corny. I don't care from corny. I like not the end or the product, but the process of people doing something. Stop the Hate Vigil. Here's the only problem I have with Stop the Hate Vigils. They always occur after hate. Don't they? They occur after somebody gets spit on, after someone gets slapped, after someone gets racist graffiti written around. They occur after the fact. We need to be having Stop the Hate vigils when there are no outward expressions of hate. Hello? I love this idea. You guys are going to catch the last 2 minutes. That's beautiful. You know what? I'm a state employee. I'm being paid to come here today. I feel it is my obligation to start over. Make sure that they get the whole thing all over it. I love this idea of Ball State. What they did was they created this big banner, and everybody starts painting. Everybody starts painting. Look what they did with it. Draped it. So when you were coming into Ball State, you had to see this thing, that here at Ball State, we will stop the hate. Again, much like Old Testament laws, they usually happen after the infraction. But if you could do it in a proactive way, that'd be excellent. Doesn't that sound corny from Dr. King? It says, we must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools. Man, I tell you, some of the great lessons all sound mawkish and trite. They sound like something from Reader's Digest or Mother Jones magazine, and I'll tell you what, they're still true. And I'll end with that picture. The reason I end with that picture, and this is one quick story, I gave a presentation before the Race Equity Conference of the state of Michigan, and I think I was in a really bad mood that day, because I showed them pictures of hate that I did not show you. And I showed them one after the other without interpretation, and it was like numbing. If you watch Lost, it was like the boy that they found in that one room in there. Okay. Those of you that don't watch Lost, just talk amongst yourselves. But it was just hatred, 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 hatred. And at the end of 40 minutes of doing that, I stopped and I said, now I'm going to balance everything that I showed you, and you could feel, not just hear, you could feel a collective gasp from the audience. Because you know what they thought I was going to do? Show hateful images of white Americans. That doesn't make what kind of sense? No. You don't balance hate with hate. You balance it with realistic imagery of people. Images that show black people and brown people and red people and yellow people and gay people and straight people and poor people and all of us. Just be people. And I'll finish with this one story. I don't listen to racist jokes. I want you to visit the website, www.ferris.edu/Jim Crow. If you forget it, just go to the Google and type in Jim Crow Museum and pull up. There I have an article about why I don't listen to racist jokes. I'll tell you this. I was living in Michigan City, Indiana, before they had gambling. And I was a member of a racket club. The racket club discriminated against peoples of colors and others by being very expensive. They had no signs out front that said, you can't come in, you can't come in. It was just very expensive, so you kept most people out. But I was a college professor making that really big college professor salary. So I was able to afford membership. One day, one of the club members came over to me and started telling me an anti-Polish joke. By the way, they're not Polish jokes, they're anti-Polish jokes. They're not gay jokes, they're anti-gay jokes. He starts telling me an anti-Polish joke. And as soon as I realized that's what he was doing, I said, baby, you got to stop. Don't do that. Stop. And he said to me, what, David? Are you Polish? And I said, yeah, I'm Polish. Now, years later, I gave a talk in Big Rapids. And like most speakers, I lied during the presentation. Well, embellish. So I'm telling that story at the end of my speech. And it's high school students. And I got wrapped up. I get to the point and I says, he says to me, David, are you Polish? And I said, yes, I'm Polish. And I'm Korean. And I'm Jewish. And I'm African. And I'm Lithuanian. I went through like 50, after a while you just run out. I just went on and I'm screaming and yelling and I'm sweating and losing weight. And I'm just naming all kind of groups. And finally I said, and I'm gay! Like, my Jesse Jackson. And I'm gay! And so, during the question and answers, one of the kids raised his hand. And he said, Dr. Pilgrim, of all the things that you are, is it hardest being gay? And I said, do you know what a metaphor is? And he says, no, sir. I said, then it's hard as being gay. All right, I'll take any of your questions or comments now. Well, no questions or comments? Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. Keep your question. The people that set up that exhibit, can you stand up for me right now, please? Henry, can you stand up? I mean, they're all of you. Give them a hand, please. I would say, don't you forget your question. I forgot where you are. Okay, I'm not mad at you. Just wait. I have to say this. I can't say you set it up better than anyone has ever set it up because you're the first ones with this exhibit. But what I will say is, of all the people that have the other exhibit, you've set it up better or as well as any of them. And I'm very proud that Grand Valley, and you should be proud, that you're the first one to host that second exhibit. And it is just outstanding with the sensitivity, it's just great the way they did it. So I don't know if you have any of your bosses or any of you up for tenure or any of that kind of stuff, but you guys did a great job. Okay, now, your question.
Yeah, I was interested in two things. You mentioned the idea, which I often mentioned, that these are the only images you have of people. So my question is, have you ever had a chance or the luck to come across images from outside the United States? And then second of all, have you found any of these images like the one document or whatever outside the U.S.? In other words,
I would say probably a fifth of the objects we have in our museum were created outside the U.S. In the 1940s, a lot of racist objects were created in occupied Japan. Today, a lot of the reproductions are made in Taiwan and Hong Kong. And recently, it has come to my attention that Central and South America have really vicious depictions of peoples of color. And by the way, I would also have to include Mexico, where there are many, many negative images. In some ways, the images in those countries are worse. In our country, typically, it's a smaller group of people who, because of the internet, can reach a lot of people. But you have a level of disgust that is sometimes not found in those countries. Whereas in those countries, you have the pieces. You see where I'm going? Yeah. So, yeah, the answer to your question is yes.